For our first story, we have I 35 male got called ugly by wife 30 female and can't get over it, am I insane? I 35 male just got called ugly by my wife 30 female and I can't get over it, am I insane? I 35 male work as a lawyer and I make a decent wage, nothing too substantial. I met my wife 30 female through our family in arranged marriage which we have had for 6 years. Granted, I'm not the best looking guy. The first may have gained a bit of weight since work doesn't exactly let me have enough free time to spend in the gym. Though I'd always assumed I was average, but my wife recently fixed that misunderstanding on my part. This happened a few days ago when I had a day off. I was feeling myself a bit and was flirting with my wife. I don't want to get into the details of the conversation as it chokes me up just thinking about it and makes my blood boil, but it ended with me talking about how it was love at first sight. My wife is very pretty. Anyway, she retorted with, maybe for you, but I thought you looked like a troll. I tried to tease her a bit thinking it was a joke, but she was serious and apparently only married me cause I had a stable good career, and I don't know what to think. I just can't get the words out of my head. Each time I look at her I feel ugly, unworthy, angry. I don't know why, I just hate the person I see in the mirror now. She's noticed my change. I've been very distant, not staying in the house, working late, going out with friends in the little free time I have, or ill just walk in the park, anything just to be away from her eyes, those judgmental eyes. She said she's worried, but I can't take it as anything but empty platitudes. Am I insane? Why do I feel like this? I just want to curl up into a ball or punch something. That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, unfortunately everything clicked when you mentioned the arranged marriage. Physical attraction is typically not valued in arranged marriages. It's completely fair for you to be hurt like this, and she should not have said it like that. You're hurt, and that's completely understandable. It's a tough situation because it's valid for her to not have been attracted to you, and even not be attracted to you, but there's still a basic level of empathy that was missing here. Our second commenter says, the variable of the arranged marriage is what makes it make more sense. Sucks to hear. Damn. Our third commenter says, unfortunately this is sort of what you sign up for when you are in an arranged marriage. Physical attraction isn't usually a factor. This is a big reason why I'm vocally anti-arranged marriages. In spite of the positive financial stability, the whole concept has such a high potential for a cold and emotionally, sexually unfulfilling marriage. For our second story, we have fiancé, 35 male, keeps barging in when I, 32 female, am showering. We have been together for 6 years and this is a topic that keeps coming up with no real solution. When we moved in together after a few months of dating, he barged into the bathroom a couple of times when I was showering. No warning and not out of need, he just wanted to look at me, I suppose, because he just said hi, watched me for a few seconds, and left. I tried to rationalize it for myself as cute, but the fact is it made me uncomfortable, so I asked him not to do that anymore. I explained I want to focus on my self-care routine in privacy and I don't feel comfortable with him coming in, especially jump scare style, since our bathroom door opens with quite a loud click, which startles me when I'm in the middle of my routine. I'd have no problem if he asked to come in to grab something he needs, but when he watches me like that, it feels sexual when I'm in a busy, not sexy mood. Over the years, he has still done this occasionally, which has led me to shower with the door locked. He doesn't understand why, because as he says, it's not like he hasn't seen me like this before. Lately, there have been a couple of times he has demanded me to open the door. The first time I did, because he just said, open the door, with quite a stern tone, and when I asked why, he didn't respond. I thought it might be something urgent, but that was not the case. When I opened the door, he just said he still doesn't understand why I have to lock it. Today he demanded it again in the same way, but I didn't open the door since he didn't give me any explanation and I was in the middle of drying myself. I just said I'd be out in a minute. When I came out, he seemed slightly upset and claimed he just wanted to hop in the shower quickly after his workout. It didn't make sense to me because he wasn't in a hurry to go anywhere and he knows I don't take long once I'm already out of the shower. TLDR. My fiancé keeps wanting to come into the bathroom to watch me naked. Or so it seems. Even when I lock the door, and doesn't understand my want for privacy. I have tried to explain why it makes me uncomfortable many times, but it seems futile. How do I help him understand my boundary? That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, he understands your boundary. He just doesn't care. In fact, it sounds like you being upset by the intrusion is at least partially the point. Really ask yourself if this is the only aspect of your relationship where he ignores you saying no, or tries to push you to do stuff you're not comfortable with, and be clear with him that whether or not he thinks it's a big deal, the fact you're still having this argument is seriously making you question whether you want to spend the rest of your life trying to justify your right to privacy. Our second commenter says, you don't lose your right to privacy and boundaries because someone has seen you naked. That's just plain intentionally a power play. Does he respect your boundaries when it comes to other things in your life? Has he forced you to do things he wants or not do things you want to do? Is it easier to give in order to avoid an argument or him getting angry? Boundaries are so important in a relationship, and if he doesn't respect yours, it might be time to reconsider the whole relationship. Our third commenter says, him not understanding why it bothers you shouldn't matter. You telling him that it bothers you should be enough for him to stop. He doesn't care that he's making you uncomfortable. For our last story, we have I, 39 male, found some old stuff about my wife, 37 female, and I don't know what to do. Update. Hi all, I'm not really sure what is the correct process to do a follow-up, but since I've been receiving some messages about my situation, here is an update on my last post to advice, comments. 1 I, 39 meters, found some old stuff about my wife, 37F, and first, I would like to tell all of you that although I haven't replied to most of comments or messages, I did read them. I just wasn't in a great place mentally. Now for the update. The day I did the post, and the day after, I was probably extra down, and my partner noticed it, and kept asking me what was wrong. At night, after our boy went to sleep, she asked again, and I could no longer hold it. I told her what I did, and what I had found. It wasn't pretty. She started crying and basically yelling at me about going through her phone, which I understand. She never talked about what I found, just about how mad and disappointed she was with me. Since she is pregnant and was getting stressed and nervous, I didn't push it too much. She went to bed after, and I stayed in the couch. The next 24 hours she didn't talk to me. The day after, again at night, I pushed the subject again, and told her that we should talk, and she agreed. What she told me, I assumed that in her mind would be comforting, but it was far from it. Long story short, she basically told me that after she broke up with her longtime ex-boyfriend about 3 years before we met, which I knew of, she felt free, and decided to explore the world. Therefore she had several relationships and short romances with several guys, but she knew how society saw that, and decided to not tell me about it. She then told me that after she broke up with the last guy the first read the messages, she decided she was done with playing around, and decided to settle down. I asked her if I was that, just a guy she settled with, and she answered that I was much better than those guys, because I had my life on track, I had goals, and was financial secured. I pushed a little further, and asked her if I was not stable, if she had ever had anything to do with me, and she answered she probably wouldn't. She again started to cry, and confessed that although she loves me, she was never physically attracted to me like she was with other men, and after all the problems we had trying to have children, she now saw sex more like a task than a pleasure. I asked her why did she kept talking with those guys years after we were together, and she told me it was just to boost her confidence, that she never cheated on me, but it was nice to feel desired. At this point I was dying inside, but kept a straight face. She asked me to go sleep with her, but I told her I needed some time to process, and I stayed in the sofa again. I didn't sleep at all, and during that night, I think I've accepted that the person I fell in love with was just an illusion. The next morning I went to work, but was able to make an appointment with my family lawyer. I was honest with him, and told him that I was still unsure what I was going to do, but I needed to know financially what were my options and responsibilities. He told me that by default our country laws assign 50-50 co-parenting, unless there is some violence or parents' agreement otherwise. And that if both parents are working, there is no payment to be done to each other. For the newborn, the court would probably mandate that the baby must stay with the mother in the first months, but the father must have visiting time, and after the first 6 months, 50-50 co-parenting. Regarding the finances, since we kept most of our bank accounts and assets separated, we wouldn't need to split. We would only need to split the house and the cars, if they don't get an agreement on one buying the other part. Here, I would lose, since most were paid by me, but we would need to split 50-50. I stayed working late that day, slept on the sofa again, and the next day before leaving for work, I told my partner that I needed some time, and would be staying a couple of days at an hotel. During this time my partner kept calling and sending me messages, but I just told her we would talk in a few days. To be honest, I just needed some time alone to get drunk and sleep. When I got back home a few days later and we talked again, I told her that I knew what I did was wrong, and that I have no problem with her having a bit of a fun phase, but that I was really hurt about she not being attracted to me, and me just being a stable guy. I also told her that I still hasn't decided what I would do, but that for the time being, I couldn't see her as my loving partner anymore, but if she was okay with it, we could start counseling and see where things go in the future. So, this is our current situation. We had 2 sessions now, and to be honest, they haven't helped much, but we will continue. My partner had tried to be more affectionate, and tried a few times to have sex, but I declined and told her I was not ready for it. I've also started to spend more time away from home, spending more time at the gym, having fun with my boy, going for dinner with friends and colleagues, etc. I still love my partner, but I can't look at her the same way. Our newborn is due for early April, and I know this will be the big test for our relationship. But to be completely honest, at the moment, I'm kind of accepting we are done. Do you guys have any advice how we can move forward? Thanks a lot to everyone for the messages and kind words. That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "I'm sorry man. This one truly sucks. Your relationship has been a lie. For the rest of your life you'll live knowing the person you're having sex with is giving you duty sex because she lusts for you. Man, you're 39. You've still got half your life left. Bite the bullet, cut your losses. Don't raise children in miserable homes because it bleeds down onto them. You both deserve happy relationships. Your partner has a track record for pretty much lying and omitting. You can't rebuild on that because the foundation was never genuine. The grass isn't always on rare occasions like yours, it certainly will be." Our second commenter says, "She is only being affectionate now to get you to stay. She only wants you to stay because of the life you offer her. She doesn't want you. Would you ever really be able to forget that she isn't attracted to you? Would you ever be able to forget that she is just having pity sex just to keep you around? You deserve better. You deserve someone who wants you." Our third commenter says, "Come on man, don't do this to yourself. Unfortunately, you cannot unlearn what you have learned, and staying with her will forever undermine your self-confidence and respect. This is not going to get better over time and is also not something that can be addressed using therapy. The facts are already clear and there really is nothing she can do to change them. Is she supposed to give you pity sex once a month and then dream about these other guys she would rather be with? I am sorry to say, but this is not something you can come back from, and I would cut the cord now rather than later. You are still young enough to find someone who fully loves you for who you are, friend." That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.